to the show where this is our very first time actually on schedule. We have some nightmare photos in the back, and we're talking about Suicide Squad, the worst movie since Batman and Robin.
Well,
make sure to like, subscribe, all that other stuff, and just click them all except for the bad stuff, like the dislike.
welcome to the Movie Inspectors. Here we are at the Movie Inspectors, and we are what are we reviewing again, Grant?
Suicide Squad. Just told them this is the worst movie potentially of its time.
I'm Inspector Dustin. This is Harley Grant.
Don't you dare call me a girl.
Dead Shot Grant. Grant Shot.
Don't you dare call me a
Killer Grant.
Don't you dare call me a lizard.
And we are live, and we are doing our review of the movie Suicide Squad.
It's funny that we're doing the only movie that we did on schedule was potentially the movie we didn't want to do.
Well, I didn't mind doing it. I like it.
How could you like this movie?
Well, I don't. All right, you know what? I don't. It was a hot mess of a movie, but I liked doing it with you.
In my opinion, this is just my opinion, but I found it too hot, messy to even laugh at it because of how bad it is. It was such a hot mess you couldn't even do that.
It was.
Most of the time you're like, wait, what? I thought you were dead. You're alive? How did you survive that? Oh my god.
So Suicide Squad came out in 2016. It's the next of our DC Universe films, and it brought the premise behind Suicide Squad is to bring together all of these evil characters to form a super team that takes care of the message.
Besides her, she's the only good guy.
Right, Flag. But yeah, but besides that, that they would be a super secret team that would do covert ops that people didn't know how to handle, and because
they couldn't call in Batman
or Superman, because Superman was dead. So
well, he wasn't dead for long, so I'm assuming the Suicide Squad has been put out of order.
Maybe we'll see.
Especially since one of their members at the end sort of broke out of prison.
Right. Well, we're skipping ahead a little bit here, but that's okay.
And two of the members are actually dead.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Now that there's
spoilers.
There's only 3 members left after you do that. And there was another one that's not in this picture because his head blew off.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to him. We'll get to all of that. We'll get to all of that. You're racing ahead. Grant's trying to end this review because he really didn't like this movie, but I did. I didn't love this movie. It was tough. It was tough to watch. It had a horrible plot, and most of the movie was people doing just what they're doing here, walking through rainy streets for hours and hours on. That's all they did. It was like
shots that are like, oh, it's the same sweater that my daughter wears.
It was basically The Hobbit with really bad character development. Because all they're doing is walking the entire time, and then they finally get to the place, and the end fight.
Movie ends.
Yeah.
If I could sum up this movie in 2 words, it's walking cycle.
Walking cycle. So let's talk about some of the characters in the movie. We had Will Smith,
Deadshot,
who played Deadshot.
Probably the best part of this movie. His costume looked good. It was actually pretty good. Character, Karma, get out of the way of the TV.
It's okay, Karma. You lay down.
Yeah, who's a good girl?
Yeah, so I liked Will Smith. Hi, Karma. I liked Will Smith's portrayal as Deadshot. I liked that he was like an older, grizzled Deadshot, kind of like at the end of his career. That he was like kind of like, it wasn't like you didn't see an origin of Deadshot. He was already established. Although this is part of the problem with the movie, but we'll get to that at the end. I have a thing about that.
Nobody is established!
Or we'll get to it right now.
Nobody's established! You're just expected to know all these characters. First timers walk into this movie, they see the main characters who you're supposed to know because
Grant and I do agree that this was rushed. If DC wasn't trying to catch up to
Or if we
Marvel,
had some movies that like had these guys as main villains, like the Batman movies before this that they announced.
or at least
so like we got to see like some Batman villains that end up being in here. So it's like, yes, that's what happens to you, and then we would have already gotten some character.
or at least some origin movies that
weren't bad.
that were about them, you know, and just before they become a teen. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Grant, what do you think about her?
Well, you know, there's two types of craziness. Either when you pull it off really well, like in The Dark Knight, or cartoon craziness, where it's just whack and like really goofy. She, aside for her gritty character design and those gritty moments where she acts all cheerful and stuff while blowing off weird people's heads. We'll talk about those guys that has the bubbles on all over their face. But she mostly fits into the second category where it's all weird.
I thought Margot Robbie did a good
At least she didn't wear the classic suit. As you can see, she's wearing a new suit.
Yeah, we had a brief shot of her in the classic suit.
With dancing with the Joker, which we'll get to the Joker. We will get to the shortest character in this movie. Literally, he had a trailer longer than the entire time he appeared in the film.
Margot Robbie, I thought,
was 5 minutes
was very good as Harley Quinn. I think Harley Quinn is a tough character. I think it works in the comics, and I think it works in cartoons. I think it's tough to see if it's going to work on screen. I'd like to see what they do. I know they're doing a Harley Quinn solo movie that's going to develop. Yeah.
If they're going to do a Harley Quinn, wait, they already announced they're going to do a Joker movie.
They're doing a Joker movie. They're doing a Birds of Prey movie.
A different Joker, which, yay, that means
that's really, it's DC, so who knows what they're going to do. So then we got Amanda Waller. She's kind of the anti-hero of the film, don't you think?
It's weird. Because from the main character's perspective, which is why it's weird, because the main characters are villains, she's the bad guy, because she's literally, all the time, one order away from blowing their heads off.
Yep.
But on the other hand, from an actual hero's point of view, she's keeping them in, so they don't do some crazy villain stuff, except for stealing some jewelry during the middle of the city being destroyed.
Yeah.
Which I guess is okay because, you know, it's already being destroyed. Most of the stuff would be destroyed, so they're saving the stuff, not steal. Well, they're keeping it, so technically, yes, they're stealing. But who cares? But from a villain's point of view, she's the villain, one order away from blowing their heads off. But from the hero point of view, she's keeping them in track to stop them from doing something bad. It really depends. If in the main character's view, bad guys. In a view of a hero, she's the good guy, stopping them from doing stuff like in the next slideshow.
So what, Amanda, if you're not familiar with the thing, Amanda Waller is the secret government agent that puts together this team. It's her idea, but then she inserts an explosive device into their necks, so if they ever do anything that's against orders, they can blow off their heads.
Yeah. Next slideshow.
Fire
dude who dies.
Pyro.
He's literally Pyro from Team Fortress 2. Nothing to say. Except for instead of having a flamethrower and having visions of a cuddly world, he's just burning people.
I thought this guy's character was pretty well developed. I like the fact that he has a tragic story, that he killed his wife and children on accident, what are you doing? And that he had to overcome that to use his powers, and that he sacrificed himself for
by becoming a weird rhino armadillo thing.
Yeah. What do you think about Pyro?
Well, I don't know. It's really weird because he's the only guy that's not a bad guy. He didn't mean to kill his 3 kids and his son.
Well, he was a gangster.
Well, he was a gangster, but yes. Compared to these guys, he's very minimal. Yeah. Besides the fire thing.
Besides the incredible power of the fire.
Well, then again, but I think he's like one of the only people here in the squad that has powers. Yeah. Captain Boomerang, which we'll get on to Captain Boomerang, has boomerangs. Deadshot has guns. Harley Quinn has a gun and a hammer. And the other guys had blue eyes.
We got Randall Flagg and Katana. They were the good guys that were on the team that were supposed to wrangle the bad guys. What do you think about them?
Well, I sort of really wish she either gets a solo film or got a solo film before this. Because we could have really got a cool story through that. Sort of like of how all these alternate Batmans are getting their own movies, of how it can show a really cool version without much wasted time. Like, this could be like a really cool film. It can be like focusing on her past. And it could be really good. Karma, be quiet.
It's okay. If you're hearing some throw up, it's our dog dry heaving right below the camera. It's fine. It's fine. This is the problem with doing live video in a house.
Fine.
In a crazy house, apparently. So I liked Randall Flagg. I thought that actor did a really good job of portraying him. I liked his love interest with the Temptress or the Enchantress. I agree. I wish we would have got a solo film with the Katana. I love her story. That would have been a story I would have loved to delve into about how she's avenging her husband and trapping the souls of her enemies in her blade.
I would like
a story
to see it.
Cool.
Like, what does that mean? Like, does it mean like if you're killed, you're like put in like a room of like all the people? Like,
they never developed that. So that's part of the problem with having so many characters in a film without origin stories. You're trying to get the backstory of everybody in, and you're just throwing it in like a little cake mixture.
It's like trying to make a cake out of pieces of metal.
Clara Devine is the Enchantress. Grant, what do you like? What do you think about her?
Well, the best part of it, I do have one main problem.
Yeah.
At the end, I would have preferred her dying because it would have been like a tragic ending, which would make sense. These guys are villains. Right. But she ended up living and turning back into and the witch thing came out of this. Let me explain something. So, there was this girl, she was exploring, and then a spirit possessed her because she founded the Temple of Gods. And the spirit possessed her, she became this thing, and she controlled it, and also fell in love with the guy in the previous slideshow, and then the witch takes over and does this. She ends up... I think that's Ginger, not her.
Yeah, it's fine. Just don't worry about it. Just our dogs are trying to steal the show, apparently. So I liked the idea of the Enchantress. I don't like the execution.
That's the main thing about DC movies. We like the idea, but we hate the execution.
Clara Devine is a beautiful actress, but she's so wooden. She doesn't really give anything to when she's not the Enchantress.
You're basically saying she doesn't put anything down at the table for this movie.
Basically is what I'm saying.
The characters are supposed to put something down to affect the story. In this movie, they're sort of just there, like the next guy.
Yep, like the next guy. The Joker.
My least favorite part of this entire... Besides the shot, this is the only shot I liked in the movie, and I'm glad it stayed in the movie. Because this is the... there is one sad thing. I don't think you heard me what I said, because Dad was talking at the same time. But this guy has less time in the movie than he does in his designate. I know he had an entire trailer to himself, but that trailer was only 5 minutes, and that lasted longer than the time he had in the movie.
Granted,
most of the shots in that trailer didn't make the cut. Barely any of the Joker made into this movie.
Grant didn't like that the Joker was not in the movie very much. I thought the Joker shouldn't have been in the movie at all.
I sort of agree. Like, too much stuff happening at once.
Yeah,
Either you
too
have
many characters.
another main, but then again, it would sort of fit because you can't have Harley Quinn without Joker.
Well, that's why you need to have a Joker and Harley Quinn movie before you do the Suicide Squad. But, and I don't know, this version of the Joker grew on me. It's really hard to be the Joker after Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight.
It just sort of higher our expectations.
Yeah.
Just a little, if it's not perfect, it's not good.
And this is a cartoonish-esque Joker instead of a realistic Joker. So it was a little tough.
He's like,
again,
it's sort of like the animated film where like it's whack crazy again. Like, who would make this? Like, who would make this? So like, I can imagine like there's like a parody where he slips on one of these knives and stabs himself. That's what happened to the character before they changed it.
Now we got our last two members of the Suicide Squad, and I put them together because they're the characters that do the least in the Suicide Squad. You got Killer Croc, who was just there beating up people every now and then.
Except for that fact where he set off the bomb and killed the guy we're gonna go later on. And then there's the guy who literally blew up. Let me say, I don't know this character, but I think he's the Atomic Knight. But he might not. And this is what happened. Captain Boomerang, like, and with this guy's like, hey. Captain Boomerang's like, hey, wanna break out? And they're like, sure. Also, you didn't show Captain Boomerang.
I don't know. I don't know if he's in the slideshow. I must have forgot about him. That's okay. We'll talk about him.
And he's like, hey, let's break out. Don't worry, nobody really cared about his character anyway. And they're like, sure. He tries to break out. He forgot about the bombs and had his head blown off. And then he's like, I did not. And then Captain Boomerang's like, I declare I did not try to break out. No, I did not. I did not. See, I'm not even going to put away my deadly boomerang now that I totally wasn't trying to throw at you, Flag.
Yeah, Flag. Well, what happened was Boomerang tricked him into trying to escape, and the character is Slipknot. That's the character's name, Slipknot. And because he could build any building that you want, but he really was there to get his head blown off and show us that it was for real that their head would be blown off, because that's all he was in the movie was for long enough to get his head blown off. So, and we didn't talk about and there's Killer Croc. He didn't do much in the movie.
All he did was beat up guys, drink a beer in a bar. We're gonna go. We're gonna speak about that bar scene. Don't worry, we'll speak about that bar scene.
Yeah.
And then sets off helps Fire God blow up brother, sacrificing himself. Stays there for the rest of the movie. Then when it reveals, the enchantment's not dead, he just sits there.
Well, and then we got
the guy that got blown up.
The main bad guy.
Well, not the main bad guy.
Well,
the main bad guy is enchanted. And then he blew up.
Yeah.
He blew up. Honestly, I don't understand with these DC designs. Like, look at this.
This is the brother of the Enchantress. Apparently, they were gods, and the people turned on them. We don't really know how that happened, because all they did was throw away one piece of dialogue. And he was the guy who was beating up on the city and blowing it up. And he was the one that they had to stop. And Grant, I don't know about you, but I thought he was kind of boring.
Yeah, he also looks horrendous. It's weird. A lot of these villains look like this, super dark and edgy. Heck, Darkseid and him sort of look eerily familiar with those two pointy things on their head. And don't worry, when we're talking about Justice League, I will show the world that I hate Darkseid. I don't mean like I hate the character. I just hate the movie version.
So, and this is, he was blowing up the city. This is Grant. You wanted to talk about this chopper scene.
Oh yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's Captain Boomerang. So.
Yeah, he's down there somewhere. He didn't make a slideshow. We don't like Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. We don't like any of everybody in here, but we forgot to talk about him. I thought he was okay, but anyways. So
Quick review on Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, we'll boomerang back to it.
Yes. This, at the time, was one of the most dumbest helicopter action scenes of how the characters were basically invincible. Heck, the Joker crashed. Everybody thought he was dead, but then he isn't dead. So this entire part of the movie could have been cut, and nobody would have cared.
I agree.
I also like the fact it was basically the coolest action scene until Rampage came out. Was that whole stay on the chopper on the falling building?
Well, there he is. There's Captain Boomerang.
We have Captain Boomerang.
There he is. Jack Courtney and Captain Boomerang.
It looks weird, especially since they had him obsessed with pink unicorns. But now, it's like he's actually hugging a unicorn the entire time. They just showed him stuffing a unicorn into his coat.
So Grant, I got
real character development. Also, you can see Harley Quinn's the gun that Harley Quinn got, because Harley Quinn needed a gun and a baseball bat.
Grant, I chose this slide to ask you: do you think they should make a second Suicide Squad?
It really depends. If they are better, which they probably won't get unless if they're able to prove that they get better, then maybe, only if, one, I think they should, sort of how the Avengers in the comics, got new people. For example, a lot of people don't know this, because a lot of people know the MCU movies where Hulk's a main member, but the Avengers had members switching around. Heck, in the second issue of the Avengers, back in the day, the Hulk actually left the Avengers, sort of like how he did in Agent Ultron, and actually left and he got replaced by Swordman.
Well, let me tell you this: they are making a second Suicide Squad movie. Oh, but I have hope for it. You know why? You remember James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's directing.
He's going to direct the next Suicide Squad movie. So I think the next Suicide Squad movie could be pretty good because James Gunn is directing it. We're going to miss him on Marvel, but he can bring together odd characters.
But to be fair, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is using his script. That's what mostly.
Yeah, so we hope that that's going forward too. So Grant,
yeah,
last thoughts.
He's able to do a bunch of things like Guardians of the Galaxy. He was able to bring some people that only very few people knew from the comics into one of the most mainstream, hilarious things on this earth.
So I think he could use Suicide Squad. And I think he could do it really well.
That would be nice if they actually changed a lot of the characters. For example, replace the dead ones with new characters. And maybe change some characters, get rid of Captain Boomerang and replace him with somebody else.
Maybe. So Grant,
but,
last thoughts about Suicide Squad. Do you recommend that to other people?
No. Because I personally don't even find this movie bad. You see, there's two types of bad. Super bad. Bad that you laugh at it, and just bad, you can't make fun of it. I would put it in the second category. Also, here's my official trailer, HD.
Yeah, so now we're going to go...
There's 22 minutes and 30 seconds.
2 minutes and 30 minutes.
It's
all right.
HD, guys.
Okay. We're going to go on to our next movie that we're going to review. The 2017 big hit Wonder Woman, maybe the best DC movie of them all. Here's the trailer from it. We're going to review this sometime this weekend.
Mom, are you okay?
Mom,
are you okay?
She's fine. Our dog is dry heaving. Sorry about this.
She's sneezing.
This is the best movie. Better than Superman. I don't care what they say.
I love the Amazon Warriors there.
I'm pretty sure this scene actually gets cut if I remember correctly. Bullet.
I learned this the hard way a long, long time ago. What is your mission?
To stop the war.
What war?
The war to end all wars. Weapons far deadlier than you can ever imagine. Now welcome me
Oh, I
out.
forgot about this guy.
Wherever you are in more danger than you think.
I cannot stand by while innocent lives are lost.
Grant, when she stole the sword, you got all upset wanted to leave the movie
This is for me.
because she was going to get in trouble.
But she ended up not getting in trouble.
She was a very good secretary.
Yeah, I agree. That's a very good
It
secretary.
is our sacred duty to defend the world. And it's what I'm going to do.
Go wearing a headpiece because that looks cool. Honestly, I don't think by this. Honestly, I'm trying to say something bad to make my opinion interesting.
You don't have to say something bad to make your opinion interesting.
I just find.
If you liked it, you liked it.
Whoa. Splody explodes.
Yeah!
This is the
Wonder
best.
Woman!
This is the best soundtrack. I don't care if it came straight from Batman v Superman.
Principles, although I am not opposed to engaging in a bit of fisticuffs should the occasion arise.
Don't you dare play my
I
game.
just play. Alright, so Wonder Woman, that was the.
No, not how it should have ended. No,
No.
please don't. Please
Alright,
stop.
so.
I
I can't. So, Wonder Woman is our next movie. We're going to be putting that up
And then
sometime
after
from this
that-
weekend, and then Justice League, and then Aquaman. We're going to see. Hold on, I'm going to get to that. We're going to see Aquaman a little bit early because we got early tickets to see Aquaman. So we'll do a non-spoiler review on the 15th about that. But Grant, you wanted to tell them about a little detour we're going to take tomorrow. What is that detour?
We are gonna do is, you know how we did that special review of Jumanji and what was it called? Rampage. We're gonna do that again, but with Wreck-It Ralph because I really like video games. It's the best video game movie ever.
We just watched Wreck-It Ralph, and it was first time for me and first time for Grant, and we're going to review that
First time
tomorrow.
for her ever.
All of us.
Except for
Inspector
the
Heather,
dogs,
yep.
the dogs
We're going to review that tomorrow, and then we're going to go see Wreck-It Ralph 2 this weekend, because it's Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet. We're going to see that this weekend, and
She
then
doesn't love Wreck-It. A person
yeah,
breaking.
we're really excited about that. So, Grant, anything else you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, I do want to talk about one thing.
What?
There is going to be one sad thing.
What?
Soon is our anniversary, but we're going to be in Texas.
No, we won't be in Texas for our anniversary.
Oh, I thought you said we did.
No.
Well, do you have any ideas?
Well, on December 8th. Shoot.
And this collection up top is called Metallica. And you get
Wait.
It's not the fire! Ah! Where's the remote?
Now,
I got this.
Turn it off. Okay. All right. So we forgot that little technical difficulties. In 3 days is our anniversary of doing the movie inspectors together. Why did you turn it off? There. Okay. So is our anniversary doing the movie inspectors together. This is our 63rd trailer in the last, or movie review or trailer review in the last year, and we're going to do a couple more. And on our anniversary, we are.
Yes.
Grant wants to review Home Alone on our anniversary. Well, we may not. No, that's when we're going to do. See Wreck-It Ralph 2 is on our anniversary. We're going to go to the theater and see Wreck-It Ralph 2. So we should discuss these things more before we go live on camera. But yeah, no. On Saturday is our anniversary. 1 year of doing the movie inspectors. We're going to go watch and do a quick non-spoiler review of Wreck-It Ralph 2. And so we're going to be doing like the next couple days we're gonna do a lot of reviews. We're gonna do tomorrow. We're gonna try to do Wreck-It Ralph, the original review, and then on Friday we're gonna watch Wonder Woman, but we may not be able to review it. But we will be reviewing the Avengers 2 trailer that's coming out. We think the Avengers 2 trailer is supposed to come out on Friday.
Four.
The Avengers 4. Infinity War 2, Avengers 4 trailer is supposed to come out on Friday. We're going to do a live reaction to that. And then on Saturday, we'll do a quick non-spoiler review of Wreck-It Ralph 2. And then on next week, we're going to do Wonder Woman and Justice League to get ready for Aquaman. Then we'll see you next Saturday.
You didn't finish Aquaman. You
What?
said Aquaman. You said
I
Aquaman.
burped. Thank you for pointing that out. But Aquaman, next Saturday the 15th. And then we're going to Texas for a couple weeks, so we might not have some reviews over the Christmas holiday.
Hey. But we still have to do Home Alone because it's Christmas and that's the Christmas movie.
Well, maybe we'll do that in Texas. Who knows? We may be able to do this from Texas. We'll see. We won't have the screen, but who knows? So, all right.
We'll have a tablet in the back. We'll still tell
We'll figure it out. All right. Well, bye-bye.
How do you finish this? Oh, people actually replied. No. All that was Heather Roach.
Yes.
Heather Roach was the only person that watched
Still
the
going.
slide. Oh, come on.